guys, I'm Gizmo. Welcome back to another reaction video. Today we are back with some more RWBY. Almost forgot what it was called. RWBY Ice Queendom. This is episode 10 titled Mirror of Darkness. Mirror, mirror on the wall. When the hell are we gonna get a good fight? I'm just kidding. Okay, no, but seriously, welcome back. We are back with some more episodes. Last episode ended on a very strong cliffhanger. We had Sith Lord Blake versus Wiess versus negative Wiess, and seemingly, I mean, it looks like we're going to be getting a big battle. Then again, we've been getting a lot of cliffhangers which hints at big battles, but at the most we've been getting short little either mid to pretty good animation fights. So I'm hoping that in this episode we're going to be getting a really big fight between this Sith Lord looking Blake, this Adam Blake fusion, and negative Wiess, because I think that would honestly look really good. On top of that, we seem to be nearing the end of the series. We're getting Wiess is getting really close to going into a coma. The nightmare seems to be like winning, nearly winning. And really, honestly, it was about to win, but it looks like RWBY disrupted the dream by moving the train along. Yeah, I mean, I have nothing else to say. The Faunists are coming in as backup. We got this big fight going on. And as always, Team RWBY just needs to get to Wiess in the nightmare before Wiess gets completely put into a coma. But yeah, so I don't want to waste any more time. Before we get into the actual episode though, just want to say thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys end up enjoying this video, then you can like the video, comment, subscribe. All those things really help me out, and subscribing lets you guys know when I upload next. So let's not waste any more time and get on with the episode. Oh, it looks like this is we've gone back in time a little bit. We're seeing Blake form that plan. The other nightmare is still alive? Oh? Oh! Wait! Negative Blake! Okay, so what we were dealing with was Nightmare Blake. That's why she looked so evil. Okay, alright. Also, how's she gonna get possessed? Ah. The Faunists did end up, like, you know, the White Fang ended up becoming what they hated. So that, honestly, that does make sense. I still don't get how is a nightmare gonna be in somebody else's nightmare? Like, what? Wouldn't Blake just be in her own night? Well, because Wiess went into RWBY's dream, right? So I guess maybe. Either way, like, I understand what's going on. I just don't understand how it's going on, you know? But I do know that it's dangerous. That's why Yang is so scared. You know, something that I'm hoping for? Hopefully, like, I don't know, like in the finale or something, is that there's gonna be a big fight, and then the opening theme will play during that big fight. Like, that stuff is always hype in anime, so I'm hoping that they do that here. Yeah. The way the way that husband is looking at her, it's just funny to me. He's like, Everybody except Pyrrha. Thank you, Yang. Appreciate it. Damn, they really just held on to that shot for a minute there. Aww. That's not what she meant. She wasn't saying that you weren't. Aww. That's very sweet. Okay, so this is... Okay, so... This is very like... I think I understand now. This isn't something that usually happens. She's going to be possessed in the real world, and then that dream is going to overlap in... Oh! In, Wiess's dream. I like the lighting. Nightmare is like, sweet! Thanks for the free grub. Ooh, nice lighting on Ospen there. Right, that's the last one, so make sure you don't lose it. Yeah. Damn! Makes sense. Not for a second, freak. Hey, we know that she has to go through a pretty dark phase. Not phase, but dark road. Speaking of darkness, Jesus! It's happening. She's fusing. Hey, it's just dramatic. It's fine. The plan is working. Jesus Christ! Are they running for their lives, or are they running forward, like charging? Oh, shit. Oh my god! So now she's become the worst version of herself. And now the dreams are like overlapping. It's like... Oh? It's not attacking her. Why not? Is Blake holding it back? Oh, it's going right. It's going past her. Jean's... Okay. Why did it give it to her? Yo, Yang looks great. Something this show is really good at is drawing, like, characters' faces. That's for damn sure. I do hope that this whole episode isn't just like a flashback. Like, I feel like we understand everything now. Like, I would like to get back to the present time, you know? Okay, here we go. I think we're like halfway through now. So I guess this whole negative Blake thing, this is like her being scared that she would end up like Adam. She's like, what the hell? Oh, what the hell? Oh no, not the 3D again. What was that? That was awful. Come on now. Oh god, no, this is a giddy bad guy. I love giddy bad guys. So she's OP just like Adam. I'm just like Wiess is. Yang's just like, hey everybody, we're here. Like she's all carefree right now. Ah, cool. So while Blake is dealing with Wiess, you're dealing with that thing. Hey, having faith in her now. What the heck? Oh, is she going up? I'm a little bit confused with what the hell just happened there. RWBY! Damn! Whitley, you keep coming back for the business. Like, just stay out of it. First he got whacked, and then now he got shot in the wing. Oh, that's sick. That reminds me of the Doctor Who episode where he drove up the skyscraper. That is very true. Not white specifically, but like humans. And then they gave him that small patch of land, menagerie. Is it just gonna be Ruby by herself? Jesus Christ. Are these the vines? It's not specifically Wiess, but she's like putting it all on Wiess. That wasn't Wiess though. Wiess does need to answer for what she did, but none of these things are the things that she did, you know? Well, you see, I mean, now that's evil. Alright, so now you have to go up against this thing. She's still marked, so shouldn't she be like allergic to these things? To the nightmare? Yeah, but that's why she was breathing heavily. Ooh, let's go! Jesus Christ! Oh, son of a bitch, don't you dare. Oh my god! These episodes are very, very short. That's really good art, once again. And it's also in their actual outfits. Oh, but she's holding the Atom sword, you see here. Interesting. Okay, so that is another episode. And mostly it was just like there's some stuff to break down there. So for starters, we had the whole thing with Blake's plan and like fusing the worlds. Honestly, I don't know. I'll rewatch this on my own, but like as of right now, at my first watching, I don't really understand where Blake got the idea from. Like, how did she know that she was able to fuse the worlds, fuse her nightmare and Wiess's nightmare together? I don't really know. Apparently it was possible, and I see how it's possible. It's just like, I'm wondering, where did Blake get the knowledge to do this? Like, was there something that happened before? Or like, you know, like she doesn't, like, I immediately thought, okay, so Wiess was able to go into Ruby's dream. We saw that in the last episode, but Blake didn't see that, so how did she know? So that part I was a little bit like really confused with. But I understand, like, you know, there was some there was risks, and Yang was worried, and I thought that was really good. Of course, there is the drawback of the fact that we know that these guys are going to be okay. Like, we know there's going to be a volume 2. We know that these guys are going to survive this. So when they're like, this is very dangerous, Blake, I'm just sitting there like, it's going to be fine, really. I mean, we know things are going to be fine. So that's unfortunately the drawback to these like prequel stories sort of things, you know? We know that the main characters are going to be just fine. But nonetheless, we had this whole thing. They were talking, and it lasts for a bit. Honestly, like, this whole like setting it up lasts for a good like 7 minutes and 42 seconds. But once it's finally made, we see Sean, you know, fuse the nightmare with Blake, and now we know that the Adam Blake outfit, that was her nightmare, becoming Adam. We had a really good talk with Adam and Blake. I liked it a lot. I thought it was chilling just seeing him again talking to Blake, and we see just how evil and how twisted he is and how manipulative he is again. And I think they did that scene really well. And the transformation scene and the fusing of the worlds was beautiful to look at. Like, I loved how it looked, and like it felt powerful, and I like that a lot. But yeah, so we finally get back to the present halfway through the episode, and we see the fight between Blake and Wiess. It's not, once again, it's not there yet. There were a lot of times where they weren't actually showing a fight. They were just showing the city, and we heard the sound of fighting in the background, and I'm just like, well, that's not interesting. Show me the fight. Like, I don't want to see buildings. I want to see the fight. And then after that, just like a lot of awkward movements here and there. There were some good moments, you know, when they were fighting, but like, it just wasn't there. It wasn't in the episode 1 through 3 animation style level, which once again, I don't know why they showed that level of fighting if they were never going to do that again. Like, I understand, you know, hyping the show up by starting with good action, but like, we're on episode what, 8 right now, and it's never really, as episode 10 I mean, and it's never gotten to that point again. Like, I feel like you should have big action at the start, big action in the middle, big action at the end. Otherwise, you know, people are going to be like, eh. And like, I get it. It's not like, you know, like, it's not like it's My Hero Academia where it's like, okay, we know My Hero. I feel like it's consistent throughout. Like, you have some really amazing fight scenes, but then after that you have some, you know, decent fight scenes that are okay. And I mean, I shouldn't really compare it to My Hero because My Hero's action is different from this. Like, My Hero's is more like hype filled and stuff like that. It's not like, you know, these kind of fight scenes where they're moving around a lot more, or Naruto's where they're moving around a lot more. Like, My Hero's is more like, you know, one punch, but it's like an amazing looking, and like, you know, it's really, really cool, and like really, really impressive, and really, really memorable. But like, I don't know, like, I understand budget and everything like that, but I feel like, okay, we have negative Blake versus negative Wiess. We should probably put some money into this, you know? And I think a part of that has to do with the fact that maybe this show is going on for a little bit too long, you know? If we had lesser episodes, we'd have more money to go around and more money to put into fights like these. But I'll save that for like my big review when that comes out. It's just, at the end of the day, it's a real shame that it just wasn't as good as it should have been. Like, this hyped up moment should have probably been more hyped, more of a spectacle. But I did like the conversation that they were having. Like, you know, I understand what Blake was saying is very true, but the thing is, what Blake is saying has to do with like humans overall, and like, it has to do with like the government and, you know, people on top who are making these decisions, and, you know, the people who are okay with that, the people like below who are okay with that, the citizens who don't mind talking down the faunus and treating them like trash. And that is something that Wiess did, to be fair, but like, that's what Blake should have focused on, you know, spreading that negativity the way that Wiess did in like the beginning of the series, where she was like, oh, let me chase down this faunus so he can stop doing crimes and stuff like that, even though she's not the police, even though she's not even a huntsman, she's just a regular girl. And what she was doing was, in my opinion, just like straight up vigilantism. Like, just straight up like, I'm gonna put the law into my own hands and try and stop this person, which usually leads to minorities and such getting hurt and dying, you know. And that there's that threat right there, and that's something that Blake should have focused on there. But Blake is doing what Adam does, which is what she's afraid of, which is why it's her nightmare. But she's doing exactly she's doing what Adam would do, and basically looking at a human and going like, you did all of this, you used us for your wars, probably talking about the Great War, which I think is a really interesting callback. You used us for your wars, you know, with our night vision and everything like that, and you took our land, and then you gave us this small little island and told us to fuck off, basically. And that's something that, yes, humans did, and yes, it's something that the show should probably focus on a little bit more, you know, not just this show, but like the actual RWBY show, and like, you know, hold humans accountable, which they never do. But don't do that specifically to Wiess, because Wiess didn't do any of those things, you know. Would she have, if everybody just left Wiess to her own devices? She could have. Honestly, she could have ended up being just like Jacques. But, you know, that hasn't happened, so we can't really go after her for that. We can only hold her accountable for what she did, which is what Yang did back in episode like what, 2 or 3, you know, she called her out and she told her that she was being a bigot, you know, so that was good. What negative Blake wants to do is basically kill her for what all the humans have done, which that's when it's gone too far. So that was the thing, and then after that we had also I do like Blake's evil version of I love evil version of characters. Like, she reminds me, she even has the color scheme of, I don't know if anybody remembers Shaolin Showdown. But Omi, when he turned evil, like he got real like giddy and real evil and like just absolutely insane. And that seems to be like what they're doing with Blake too. Like, she's a bit of a giddy villain and she's like, you know, laughing and smiling while she's trying to kill and hack Wiess. I do like that. I like that evil version of Blake a lot. I think that's really cool. And then finally, we have the whole thing with RWBY versus the Nightmare. And see, the animation there looked pretty cool. Of course, it was very, very short. That's the only thing. I do think things were starting to kind of get out of hand with the fight scene. Like, things were just jumping from one place to the other really, really quickly. Like, there wasn't a lot of focus, which I understand a lot of things were happening. But, like, it dulled the fights like Wiess and Blake. Like, I think how the episode should have focused their fighting was have it mainly focus on Blake and Wiess, because that was the spectacle of the episode. You know, that was the big thing, that was the payoff that we wanted. And then after that, have a little less focus, but still focus on RWBY and Yang. Just show do that whole thing that they had with Yang, you know, helping RWBY get into the auditorium, right? And then after that, show just one little glimpse at what John was doing, which was basically him versus the giant armor, right? But then stop there, okay? We don't need anything else from that. And we definitely don't need to cut to Xion and explaining how dangerous the situation is. Like, we already know that. We already know the stakes are high. We don't need to cut to Xion and everybody outside of the dream talking. We don't need that, all right? And I don't think that we needed to show Yang going up against this giant armor thing, because it's honestly not as at least to me, it's not as impressive. It was cool seeing her ride along the wall, but I don't think that was needed. And then I think that time that was put into RWBY's fight with the Nightmare should have been put into Wiess and Blake's fight. And then after that, have the episode end with RWBY entering the concert hall and then looking at the Nightmare. I think that's how it should have ended. You know, put as much time and focus into Blake and Weiss's fight, because that was the big spectacle that we were left on in the last episode. You know, that's just how I think it should have been. I think they should have been focused on that fight. I think it was very interesting, and I think if you put more money and more time into that fight, it could have been really, really something. As it is now, like a lot of the fights in Ice Queendom, it's okay, you know, it's honestly a little bit more than okay, but I think it could have been really great if they focused more on it and put more money and time and talent into it, because stuff like showing buildings and then showing fighting happening in the background is not interesting, you know, it's not good. But yeah, once again, like many of the other episodes in Ice Queendom, I thought it was a pretty good episode. Just the fighting and the spectacle needs to be a bit better in my opinion, but that's just me. Tell me what you guys thought about the episode down in the comment section down below. Tell me what you guys thought about my reaction, and I'll see you guys next time. Until then,